Hello traders, today is Monday, December 16th, 2024. Keep in mind, this content is not financial advice, it's for educational purposes only. Please do your own research and due diligence before you risk your money in any type of investments. Let's start the video with ARM. And I think I mentioned ARM on X. I did post something regarding this move right here and the breakout of the trend line. This actually worked out very nicely. You had after breaking the trend line, you were up 3%. The next trading day, which was a Friday, you were up 2.64%. And today you're down 4.5%. Now, one of the things that is important right now in this setup is that you're still over the 35 SMA on the daily chart. You are also still basically retesting the trend line, so we'll see how we react on that area, and this should be a little bit higher. I just want to go on this on that week. Anyways, but you're also breaking support, which is kind of bearish. Now your MACD and the TSI are not looking bad. They are just crossing the zero line, so that's a good thing. The RSI is already pointing down towards the signal line. I think this needs a little bit of time. If this is actually a retest of the trend line, that's actually very good news, because that means that a continuation to the upside is coming. Now you have to retest this level, which we are there, and you have to go back into breaking resistance at 148. And after that, then I think we can basically claim that we're bullish to the next leg up towards 164 and higher. This chart doesn't look bad at all. Actually, I wanna do something here really quick. That's interesting. I just saw this. Normally I just put one line, but in this case, here you are on August 5th. Yes, and now you're retesting this pattern right here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens in the next few days, but you have to break resistance again at 148 to basically feel more comfortable with this setup. If you break under the trend line and the 35 SMA, you're definitely going to see it on the 200 SMA and probably continue going down, which at this point, I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish, but this needs a little bit more time. And by that, I mean a couple of days. Now, let's move on to, I haven't talked about Bitcoin in a while, so let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. Let's see what we get. Well, after a consolidation on this area right here, this is 99.7, let's say 100. Beautiful move. We have been talking about Bitcoin. Let's get rid of this trend line right here. I just want to, since basically 52. Yeah, somewhere in this area right here. Anyways, this move, as we all know, very aggressive, very nice move. I think, to be honest, this has a little more fuel to continue going up. In the short term, and it would be actually good if you come down to 100 again and then continue moving up. I think for the most part, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think this is going to continue going, to higher areas. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 120 or if we hit 150 somewhere around March. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, 120 definitely looks very, very possible, and maybe by January or February, 120 is not, doesn't sound crazy at this point. That being said, let's go back into what I'm basically seeing on the chart. And you're in price discovery in this area. I mean, right after this, right after 107, you're on price discovery. You have low liquidity here for obvious reasons. MACD and TSI are over the zero line, but they look bullish. Keep that in mind. RSI is under 70, and RSI really, it can get overbought, and this might actually continue going up. Keep that in mind. You don't have any other indicator. For now, your support is basically 99.7. I would say 100 as a psychological level. You have more liquidity under that key level right here. But other than that, I think this is still looking bullish, which means that other stocks like CLSK, which is coming next, Mara, Riot, Coinbase is lagging a little bit, but some other names are definitely going to benefit from this type of run. Now let's move on and take a look at CLSK, because this chart is not looking bad at all. Why it's not looking bad at all? Well, I'll tell you why. Bearish all the way from the 200 SMA up until this candle right here. So you had the MACD and the TSI pointing out, and we were gonna probably sell off a little bit. You broke the 200 SMA to the downside, you broke the 35 SMA, and now you're sitting on the 325 SMA right on it. So I do believe that if we break that 325 SMA to the downside, obviously you're gonna go into support at 10.5, and we'll see what happens there. But if Bitcoin still is stable and continues to go up, or even if it's just stable, or if continues to go up, I think that we are going to move towards 14 or 15 in this area. You have to break the 35 SMA first. You have to go over the 200 SMA. Now the 200 is very close to the support area, to the resistance area, and I think if you mount the 200, you're gonna just go over the resistance, and then you're gonna move very nicely. Keep that in mind. I think you know, obviously there is the dependency with Bitcoin, but again, if Bitcoin stays stable as far as price movements, or goes to the upside, I think this name is going to continue, or actually start reversing and going up towards 15 again. Now let's take a look at, I haven't mentioned this name in a while, but I gave you this trade, and hopefully you took advantage of it, and that is CrowdStrike. And let me take a quick note here. All right. So we're talking about CrowdStrike right on this red candle. I told you, if you break on this trend line, if you go over resistance, you're going to continue going up. You went up, went over the 200 SMA, went kind of like consolidated on the 200 SMA, and as soon as you hit the 35 SMA, you started moving up. Now, after that move, you went over resistance, and then you were coiling up here, basically on this level of support at 339. Today you had a beautiful day. You broke basically this area right here, and you were up 5.5%, approaching 395, no, 393 actually, which is new. Well, if we break this level, then you're a new all-time highs. Beautiful trade. I do believe that this still has momentum. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all, even though they're over the zero line. I think if you break this level right here, you're definitely going to continue going up. Now, what you have also here is you can get rejected right somewhere in this area as well. So keep that in mind. This level of resistance is critical. If you get rejected, you're probably going to go down towards the 35 SMA. But if you break, you're going to have momentum to the upside. We have seen that in other names. I wouldn't be surprised if this happens again for CrowdStrike. Keep that in mind. Now let's move on to, having mentioned Disney in a minute, and I want to talk about Disney. And here we are. We were talking about Disney right here as well, and that's why I keep these trend lines, so I know that I was speaking about them or about these names somewhere in this area. I think I was somewhere between these two candles talking about Disney, and well, now it looks bearish in my opinion. MACD and TSI are pointing down. RSI was overbought and now it's coming down towards the 50 line, and you have the 35 SMA here, a price gap, very basically no liquidity in this area right here, all the way down towards 102 or 103. Then you have the 200 SMA on the same area. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually come down towards 102, give or take. Right now, this is definitely not looking good. It was a 1% down today, which is not a big deal, but I do think that we're definitely going to meet the 35 SMA. Exactly when, we don't know, but within the next few days, I think we're going to be sitting on the 35 SMA. If you break the 35 SMA as an area of support, 107 is going to come, and 102 is probably going to approach very quickly. Again, MACD and TSI are not looking good. you know, I don't want to trade this to the downside, not because of lack of conviction or anything. It's because what I said in the past, I want to start trading more to the upside. It gives me better results and faster results. And also another thing, I want to wait for the setup to the upside again. And that's why I'm already mentioning Disney, because it might give us an opportunity in the near future. And by that I mean maybe in 2 weeks or so, who knows. It depends how fast we come towards 107, or even if we come towards the 200 SMA, and which is going to be around $100 to $102. Again, MACD TSI bearish. This is probably going to continue towards, let's for now call it 107, and then if we break 102, without a doubt, in my opinion. Now let's move on to the next name, and that is a name that I've been mentioning almost every day in my videos, and that is HIMS. Now, one of the things that I mentioned about HIMS is the fact that we're building liquidity in this area right here. That is great news. One of the things that I said before as well, and it was basically a hope. I would love to see this stock going down towards 25. And the reason for that is because I actually want to get back in. If this starts rallying and breaking 35 and getting into new highs, that would be fine with me. But at that point, it's not a trade for me. It already, you know, it's a boat that already sailed. Not for me. But I do think that if we go down towards the 35 SMA, we're probably going to fill this gap. We get towards 25.50. Anyways, on price action that we saw today, not bad. Actually, you were up over 4%. And a very nice move. And I see, and I love the fact that we're consolidating here. Now, if we go down or we go up, that's a different story. But I like the fact that we're consolidating here. That's actually a good sign. MACD and TSI are not looking bad. You're not that overextended. Looks a little more bearish than bullish, at least for now. But we'll see what we get this week. Again, the fact that we're building liquidity here is good news. I'm just really hoping for going down towards 25 so I can actually get back in. But if it doesn't, I think you are going to get back towards 35 and see what kind of reaction we get at this level. And if we get rejected, that's also very good news, because then you got more volume, things look a little more normal, and you know, other indicators are going to be, you know, more relaxed, for lack of a better term, in these areas. Anyways, HIMS still looking good long term. I think sometime next year we're going to probably be around 75 or so as a price target. Now let's move on to, you know, I haven't mentioned this name in a long time. I don't know when was the last time, but this is a sympathy name with what we're seeing on EVs, and that is Lucid. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning Lucid is not because it's a great company, because the reality is it's a shit company. But the reason why I'm mentioning this, and if I could find what I want to use here, yeah, is because I like this type of formations. I saw this, I show you this formation on HIMS, I show you this formation on AVGO, I show you this formation on SHAK, SHAK, which is basically a round bottom formation. So you have this move right here, and once you break, you tend to actually move with a little bit of action. That is not actually a bad indication in this case. Now, I think that Lucid is moving not because it's a great company or because they are doing something fantastic at the moment. It's moving because basically the same reason that Rivian is moving is because Tesla is pushing really hard. And, you know, there's more attention from investors and investment firms into alternatives to Tesla, in my opinion. And so there is more money coming into the sector. So you're putting money into Tesla, you're also pouring money into Rivian, and you're also going to be pouring money into Lucid. Now, do I have high expectations long term for Lucid? This sector, the auto sector, is so tough that I really have doubts that if Lucid would actually make it. I see lucid cars here and there, but I don't see as many by any margin as I would see Teslas, for example, or even Rivians. I just don't see them. But this setup is interesting, it's intriguing, and I like to see this setup. I think if we break this level at 2.72, we are probably gonna meet that 200 SMA right away. You have in this area, as you can see, you know, a lack of liquidity. If you break the 200 SMA, this gap is gonna fill, and then you're probably gonna retest that 325 SMA just like you did here, and then come down towards some area of support, which is probably 2.7 or whatnot. Again, the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because I see these kind of setups as, you know, a lot of the times, not always, they actually work out very, very nicely. Or in other cases, you get a little flag right here, and then you have a gap and handle, and then you move back up as soon as, you know, as long as you break resistance on this area right here. That's what I have for Lucid. And now let's move on to another name I haven't mentioned in a while, but it's doing very well. And that is MobileEye. MobileEye is, let me take another one. This thing, right? Okay. You're feeling this gap. Let's actually edit this gap right here. I'd like to have gaps because most of the times they fill up. Anyways, I do think that if we get into this area here, which we are right here, right there, and you know, let me put the reason why I'm gonna put a level right here is because of this. You have a lack of liquidity here on the volume profile. If we break this resistance level at 19, you're just gonna rally towards 24. My price target to MobileEye right now is 24. Actually, I normally don't give price targets, but I think we can hit 24 in the near future. However, you have to break this resistance right here. You have to go over the 200 SMA, which is important. You haven't been over the 200 SMA since, or broken the 200 SMA since November of last year. So 1 year ago, 13 months ago. So you haven't been there. So that is going to be a little bit of a challenge maybe. But the fact that you have little liquidity here is also gonna help. MACD and TSI are not extended at all. The RSI is already moving toward the 70 line, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. So again, you have a lack of liquidity between 19 and 24, basically 25. We'll see how we behave here. I wouldn't be uncomfortable actually buying calls, maybe September calls for MobileEye. And matter of fact, let's take a look. What is the price of those calls right now? As of right now, after market hours. But MobileEye, and if I go, so they have January, February, among Webull. So they don't have. There is a jump between May of 2025. I wouldn't buy those. And then you go straight to January 2026. Wow. So there are $6, $600 per contract. Wow, that's not bad. And that's for January of 2026. Now I don't know if I want to buy that far away, but I wouldn't mind actually buying this in very small quantities and see how it behaves. You know, you can buy the 22.5 for 5.2, which is $520. Oh, interesting. Anyways, food for thought for you guys and for myself. I like this setup right here. I was talking about MobileEye right under here, and also right here because it was coiling up right here, so I was intrigued. And I think that the less conflict you have in the Middle East and in Israel and whatnot, the more this name is going to start pushing. Interesting. Keep it in mind. We'll see. I'll check tomorrow and see if you get other type of contracts, but for now it doesn't look like you have that many options for this year or next year. Okay, now let's move on to a name that I'm still liking, and I've been trading Microsoft today. I was day trading Microsoft. So let's talk about this. Very nice move almost 1%. I was trading this thing. Let's go to the 5 minute. I'll show you where I was. I traded this name from here till here, and then I had stuff to do. What time was this? 8:20. No, actually I left. I sold somewhere in this candle right here. Yeah, around 10, because the cleaning people came, and I just left the house at that point. But then this actually continued going up, but I was day trading, so I was okay with what I made. And but one of the things that I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to buy more contracts. And again, my contracts, even if I day trade, the contracts that I had for this move right here between this candle were for not January, they were June contracts. They're more expensive, obviously, but I feel more safe actually, because I know that this, even if it doesn't work out for today, I can leave them for a couple of days or maybe even a week, and I know that this move is, chances are, I don't know for a fact, but chances are that this move is going to continue to the upside. So I feel a little bit safer. Hopefully I'm making sense on this, but I think I'm gonna continue trading Microsoft and see how this continues to move. It's just looking good. It's really looking good compared to, you had Google actually moving very strong today as well. Apple continues to move strong. Amazon is strong. Meta was a little bit on the reddish. Meta was like, I was day trading Meta too, and I did trade. I saw like this. I was trading the 5 minute, this triple top, so I got into this. I got into this candle. It went down and then it ripped all the way up, and around when I was, I think I left on this candle as well, because it was at the same time I was leaving on Microsoft. But anyways, this is still looking good. Let's go to a 1 minute, one daily chart. I think it still has more punch to continue going towards all-time highs. Now, I would love to see red retest this level again, then go up, just to feel a little like this is looking healthier. But I'm not surprised to have a very nice continuation to the upside on green candles, just like you saw it here. I've seen this in Microsoft before. You see it here, and you can actually continue going back in the past, and the behavior, once Microsoft start moving, it actually moves. Again, for the way I like to trade and the way I like to, I guess, protect my money, once I get, if I am, sometimes I let my runners go up to 50%, and that's my limit. But once I get like 10 or 15 or 20%, I'm out. I really don't need more. I know I leave money on the table a lot of the times, yes, but I feel comfortable because then I know that I'm not losing money, So anyways, let's move on to the next name. Microsoft, again, keep an eye on the support level at 44.43, and to the upside, I think we can continue going up. MACD, TSI are not extended at all. RSI is not looking bad at all. It's actually, this is not looking bad. Now let's move on to NVIDIA, if I can find it. Gee, where am I? Right here, NVIDIA. And I want to take a little note. So we have this formation here. A lot of people I've seen on X debating, if you see, for whatever reason, this is not, some people were saying that, that's not a head and shoulders. A lot of people have this kind of drawing in their charts. Look, the reality, in my opinion, is you're right under, or at least price action today went right under this area right here, that you can actually argue is an area of support. Okay. Now you came down towards my price target to the downside on NVIDIA was 131 or 130. Well, we got all the way down to 130.45 at some point today. Now let's go back to the 5 minute. And you really didn't have buyers coming in. Now, one of the things that I believe is that if you have a fake out on a bearish setup, you're going to have a very strong move to the opposite side, meaning that if this gets invalidated, you're going to have a real push to the upside. But I also see what I see, and what I'm seeing right now is that if we break 130, which is what I have right here is 129.96, let's say 130, obviously, if you break this level, you're just going to continue going down. You have low liquidity here, so you're probably going to move towards 125. That's what I think. And you really don't have a strong area of support between where we are right now and 125, which is right here. You really don't have much. Maybe this. I mean, yeah, actually, I'm just gonna put this so I can see. But we'll see how we react tomorrow. This sector is looking weak. I think it's really trying to push, but you know, the money is not coming to this, to NVIDIA or AMD or the sector in general. NQ was up today over 1%. Where is NQ? Yeah, NQ was up 1.20. Well, I don't know exactly when by the time of closing, but right now it's up 1.26%. NQ. So it's not like NVIDIA was pulling the Nasdaq down. All the other names were pushing hard. Tesla is pushing hard. Apple was pushing. Microsoft and Google, forget about it. I think Google was like 4% today or something. It was wild. So I don't think, yeah, Google 3.5%. Beautiful. So NVIDIA is lagging. I think when NVIDIA starts moving to the upside, it's going to be an absolute monster. This is just my opinion, and I want to be part of it. I just want to wait and see how we behave on levels of support and resistance. Right now, we are looking at a support level that is critical, 130. I think if we break 130, you're going to meet 125. That's it. I just want to keep my thought process as simple as possible. If you take a look at what we see here on the MACD and the TSI, this looks bearish. So we have to see how we behave and what we are coming or we're getting next, and after that then we can assess on a long position. But for now, I'm just letting it develop and give me the formations that I would like to. I don't want to actually trade this to the downside. I have no intentions of it. Even if I see a break of the 130 level, I just don't want to risk my money like that. I just want to wait. If we break here, I know there's low liquidity all the way down towards 125, and then at that point, I'm assuming that we're gonna get some resistance to the downside. In other words, we're gonna have a pretty solid area of support at 125. We'll see. But not taking calls here yet because it's still looking precarious. Just be very mindful of your money. That's the only thing that I would tell you. Rocket Lab. Now I'm gonna tell you a sad story about what happened to me with Rocket Lab. I was working out this, I guess, around 12 or so, and I bought a position here on Rocket Lab on Thursday, and I was like an idiot looking at this on my phone, and I was thinking, should I sell? I'm gonna sell half of my position, so I basically take care of my principal. Today this was up 6%, and I, by mistake and being distracted at the gym, I end up selling my whole position on this thing. I was up already 20 something percent on my calls, but these were, I believe, June calls for Rocket Lab. I think this is going to continue moving up. I wouldn't be surprised if I actually get back in, but I was just working out legs, and I was like, God, I messed up big time, and then I just didn't even look at my P&L because I know this. I think this is going to continue going up. Now I got a nice run between these two candles between Friday and today. Okay, that's cool. But the fact that you have from here basically to this area towards 28 and then beyond, you basically have very low liquidity, and then you are into price discovery. So we'll see. I would love to see a retest because I want to be selfish and I want to get back in. I would love to see this going down, but I think this thing is going to continue pushing. Now, if we're going down for a minute or not, at this point, I don't know. MACD and TSI, they don't look bad. They are, yeah, a little bit high or over the zero line. Yes, I understand that, but they are not looking bad, to be honest. And this formation, it looks like buyers, or it's not, it doesn't look, I mean, you can see that buyers are stepping in. Beautiful situation, bad situation for me for not like trying to trade while I'm like lifting weights. Don't do that kind of stuff. I mean, do what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it. I could have sold half of my position tomorrow morning at opening. If this actually continues to go up, I'm gonna mention that Rocket Lab again tomorrow, just to make fun of myself for a second. Anyways, beautiful move for Rocket Lab. Hopefully you were one of the ones that bought here when I was starting to mention Rocket Lab. Let me see. I definitely mentioned this on Friday. This candle right here. It was kind of obvious in my opinion, right? You have this. Let me do, before I finish this, I normally put one line just to keep my stuff clean, but I mean, you have it right here, it's right here, it's right there, and now it's moving, and I think it's going to continue. I don't know. Anyways, thank you everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.